is now probing the D.C. lobbying firm, the Podesta Group, according to three sources with knowledge of the matter. The firm is run by Tony Podesta, brother of Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta, though John is not part of the Podesta Group and is not part of the Mueller investigation. A spokesman for the Podesta Group released a statement saying, in part, the firm is cooperating fully with the special counsel's office and has taken every possible step to provide documentation that confirms timely compliance. For more on this, I want to bring in one of the reporters on that article, NBC News national security and justice reporter Julia Ainsley. Julia, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. What's this about? What's Podesta got to do with this?
Well, thanks for having me. So this, of course, is looking into his FARA filings. These are filings that any group, like a lobbying group like Podesta's, would want to file after they've taken money from another government. It's the Foreign Agents Registration Act. And he could be in violation of that, because if you look back to his original filings on the work that the Podesta Group did with the European Center for a Modern Ukraine, they called it a non-governmental organization, like an NGO, on that filing. In fact, it's a political party, and it's linked to this pro-Russian ruling group that was there at the time between 2012 and 2014, the same group, of course, that Paul Manafort worked for. So what began as a fact-finding mission to try to learn more about what Manafort did has now been raising eyebrows among Mueller prosecutors who want to see what exactly Podesta may have been hiding on his FARA filings and whether or not he violated that act.
Does this go as far as to suggest that the Podesta Group and Podesta might be involved in Manafort or some sort of Russian collusion, or is this the idea that you've got to be honest with the government when you're working for a foreign government or an entity, and these guys misrepresented what was on the form?
Well, they're involved in Manafort They're involved with Manafort insofar as the fact that they worked with him as part of this group in between 2012 and 2014 at the direction of Manafort's deputy. Tony Podesta and his group introduced top Ukrainian officials to members of Congress. So they're involved in that point. But it's just important to realize that when we're talking collusion, sort of what's at the heart of this probe that Mueller was tasked with, this is actually a little separate, and it shows how far this can go. Because once you start looking at disclosures of anyone in Washington and what they did for a foreign government, all of a sudden there are a lot more people implicated than we would have ever thought. Yeah,
Michael Flynn, this was part of the problem with Michael Flynn, right? That you're taking money from a foreign government, you're somehow not disclosing it. This is something the government takes very seriously. If you work for a foreign government, the idea that you're suggesting it's an NGO is not necessarily efficient. Julia, stand by. Melania Trump is speaking. Let's listen in.